guy gets in my head, it's like my heart is doing cartwheels, which means in my mind I'm doing cartwheels, and so is time and everything else around me. He surrounds me in my dreams, bringing joy and laughter. What is this energy that's pulling me close, closer? I don't like when a guy gets too much in my heart keeps thinking, my mind keeps beating. I pray and pray that I'm not sending these thoughts his way whenever he's nearby. I try not to look in his eyes, yet still I wonder, did my sachet catch his skin? I don't like when a guy gets in my head. My nerves are on end like a swimmer on a jumping board, waiting to fly, but still I try to rush by when really all I want to do is fly. Take that leap and fly right into his arms. Fly before the moment is gone. Fly. My nerves freeze and my whole body screams, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Stay still and wait and see, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe.
So that is a song that I wrote, and I put it on Suno, Suno, so that I could hear how it sounded, and it came out really nice. So I'm going to stop this and go back and put all of this together because I wanted to see whether or not if the song would record on here. And yes, it is copyrighted. I have to do a little bit of edits here and there and extend the song. So at the time when I first created it, Sono did not have where they allowed you to extend it. So anyway, it just happened to be where somebody came into my world, and it was the way that they came into my world in connecting with me in a very strange, not metaphysical, holistic, spiritual, telepathic way that it just rocks my entire world. These past 2 years have been like seriously crazy. 2024 and 2025. I had asked someone one time whether or not if they were interested in metaphysical holistic things, and they were like, yeah, I don't have a problem with it, I'm just not into the woo-woo of life, and or the woo-woo of it. So I'm like, well, what do you consider the woo-woo of things? Because there, personally, for myself, I've had some phenomenal experiences that I so totally consider the woo-woo of life. And um, so I ended up writing this song. Written a few songs, and I have to go back to each one and edit them. I even did the control, lose control, and created two stanzas of my own for that particular song. When they had it, he had the competition with artists were adding their own words to it. And I liked what I came up with. So as far as writing lyrics, I'm a poet as it is to begin with. And I've really been getting into it with writing lyrics, but I just write down thoughts and I have to go back to it. So that's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to work on writing the lyrics, or excuse me, editing the lyrics that I've written. So this particular subject for the day is a new year, something different, something new. And I've been debating since last year of doing online dating, and I haven't done it in a long time. I did this years and years and years ago. And it's like, go some fish one, I can't remember what the thing was, and then a Black People's Meets. So I did meet up with a guy for the fishing site, which I cannot remember the name of, and he had a really, really nice house. And he was a bit of a jerk though. Player just about sex, but guy had a really nice house. And had he been a different personality, I probably would have dated him. But he was basically just a jerk, but whatever. But it was a nice evening out. And Black People Meets, it was interesting. That was during the time where people using describing themselves as spiritual. They were spiritual. So what do you consider yourself? Are you religious? Are you spiritual? So everybody was spiritual. And when too many people jump on the bandwagon of an idea or thought process or whatever, it kind of like annoys me because there's no originality and everybody follows. And that's the annoying part is everybody follows. Maybe I'm jealous because I didn't think of it. So I can admit that I might have some issues. I got some problems, whatever. Who cares? But it still annoys me either way. So I use a terminology that, yeah, I'm spiritual. So the guy, when he starts talking and he's talking about spirituality, I'm like, okay, that's churchianity. That's not spirituality. That's just basic, common, everyday, average, mundane stuff. So he says to me, well, what do you consider spiritual? And I started talking about, I can't even remember what exactly I was talking about, but I started to tell about some of the experiences that I've had in life. And of course, the guy says to me, what are you, a witch? It was funny because back in the day then, I don't know, my business name is Zico Creations, and I've had guys, usually black guys, they'll be like, what is a Zico Creations? And one guy was supposed to be doing some artwork for me. Um, I have something in my eyes, so I apologize. He was supposed to be doing some artwork for me, and he's like, "What is a Zico?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What is a Zico?" I do not understand why people do that, why they say that. What is a Z code? Someone, what is anything of someone's name, their business name? But you're gonna ask me, what is a Z code? What makes it strange? What makes it seem weird? What it in the phrase, a guy told me once before Z code was a stripper's name. So it went from being a stripper's name to basically being like a witch or somebody who does divination or is into magic. But that would be more like me. I don't necessarily do magic. I don't believe in magic. Well, I take that back. I believe in magic, but I don't believe in doing spells and things. Um, I used to have this ring and an ex-boyfriend when we were at the fair here locally, excuse me, where I live, I asked him to buy it for me. And it had the word love on it. And it was like a love book. So it was a love potion book, and the woman opened it inside and showed it to me. And the idea was if you were a witch or a mafia woman, you either put a poison, some kind of potion in there, a potion in there for the man to fall in love with you, or a potion in there to kill them. So I was like, oh, no, 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 baby doll. I'm gonna sue to kill him before I put any kind of potion in there for him to fall in love with me. I'm gonna sue to put potion in there to kill him. So either someone's gonna love you for you. Why do you need to use some kind of magic or use some kind of this thing is still in my eye, or use a potion to get some guy to do what you want? If he's not gonna do it of his own free will, what's the point? Even when you're doing tarot card reads, they have these people that come on there and they'll say to you, if you want them to do a spell or use magic to get the guy to be obsessed with you. No, I want him to be obsessed with me because of me, because he's basically just obsessed with me, my energy, my look, my spirit, my differentiality, my whatever. So why would you want to bewitch someone? Bewitching them is just being yourself. They like the sound of your voice or the way you smell or whatever. I mean, like there's so many different things, but it's interesting how you must pay someone to do some kind of witchcraft or magic. And I actually don't like how they use the word magic, but magic to attract someone to you. No, just attract them by who you are. That's it. So what is the point? What was the other point I was trying to make here? When a woman said to me, magic can be anything, and you have the wrong outlook as far as for magic. So I'm thinking of people who do and witchcraft. And there was a time where every time you turned around, I would meet a woman and they would tell me that they were witches. That I could have gone to people's coven with them. I could have gone to moon events with them. I did go a couple of times. I've gone to events with them, and or that people that call themselves Wiccan witches or whatever. The last of witch event I went to, that's when somebody used some magic or witchcraft on me that it took me a little while. That's a whole nother subject. I'm not going to talk about that now. That's when 2023 into 2023 that I realized, wow, some of this stuff is really, really amazing, the crap that people do. And in 2024, I've had some experiences. I don't know what the hell is going to happen in 2025, but I'm more prepared. But either way, um, I don't know how to phrase it, but I was not too pleased with how people do things and certain aspects. When I don't like something, I will definitely stand up for myself and protect myself and fight for myself. So at any rate, um, so Magic, she said, if you put out there, I want an apple, and you get an apple. If I want a brand new car, you get a brand new car. That's magic. That's a form of magic. So I can accept that, but I'm not using any kind of spells or incantations. I'm basically just using my mind. So I'm using the process of thought. This is what I want. And I said before that if I'm saying that I want something, I was told you don't ask for the person, you ask for what you want. And if it is that person, then that person will come to you if it's meant to be. So if you're going to put something out there, if this person is for me, then by the will of the divine God, higher power, whatever, but you're not wishing upon this person, you're wishing upon what you want to accomplish. So at any rate, but there's a difference. But it's interesting how people will use witchcraft or magic to try to control people. And I've learned a lot of that stuff like that happening, and it is friggin' crazy. Again, that's another story, another conversation for another day to really get into in depth into it. How I got on this subject, talking about men who, when we talked about spirituality or my business name, are you a witch? So whatever they saw within me, where they saw my picture, they heard the sound of my voice, and they felt that I was a witch. Now, like I've told wicked women that maybe in a previous life, excuse me, it's getting late. I have if I edit this, I'll have to edit this out. But yes, I would have been could have done witchcraft years ago. Um, but it's not something I'm interested in doing now. So I can respect, for whatever the reason, that a period of my life that every time I turned around, I was coming meeting women that were said they were Wiccan, that they were witches, and that they believed in Wicca. And they would invite me to events or different things, or we become friendly. It was really cool, but it's not something that I wanted to do. So there's levels of life of what you may have done and helps people to who they are now, and their abilities, their sensitivity, their awareness, their perspective, their intuition, that woo-woo of life. So at any rate, so it's funny how guys would ask me if I was a witch, especially if I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna test you since you call yourself a spiritual person. And I intentionally put things out there that only a spiritual person would be aware of, only a spiritual person would really know. So what you're calling spiritual and I'm calling spiritual are two different things. So then I should not call myself spiritual. I'm not going to tell you you're not spiritual, but not for my understanding of it. So I got to a point where I just said to people that I'm aware, a person who's aware. I was raised in a particular environment where it just wasn't the norm. So I'm a person who's aware. So back to online dating. So it kind of like intrigues me, the idea of actually doing that. But yet at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's just it's just people who they're just about sex, and it's so annoying that that's all people think of. Or, ugh, ugh, whatever. So I'm still kind of debating on it. I'm still kind of giving it a thought. The one thing that I would like to do is speed dating. Now that seems like it would be kind of fun. And I still say it would be nice to do some kind of speed dating in a room and you're going from table to table, person to person, and meeting people real quickly. It's just exchanging with them real quick and finding out information about them and going from there. So it's almost like to me a game, playing a game. So speed dating would be great. Love to go to the city because that's where a lot of people would be, a lot of diversity, a lot of ethnicities, I would hope, and come to the event. So maybe I'll look into speed dating and see how that goes. But it's again, I think just socialization, just socialization. Tap into intuition, I don't know. That's not the right word. I don't think I use the right word. I would say more so intellectuality, someone's intellect, tapping into someone's intellect, because I don't get the experience to be able to meet up and talk to intellectual people. And that annoys me. And the last time I did come to somebody to get into an intellectual conversation, oh my God, I was quite an experience. And that's a whole nother story for another day. So, um, I'm still kind of working out that exchange, but phenomenal experiences. I've had some phenomenal experiences. It's really crazy. And then I was talking to people, if you're doing a YouTube channel, why not use that to some degree to meet people? And they're like, well, why would you want to do that? You can meet all these weird types. Like you don't do it on the internet in general and meet weird people. What would be more weirder than being on a YouTube, your own YouTube channel to try to meet people, and either they're going to email you, text you, whatever, as far as saying, hey, I'm interested in you. But they could do that without you even saying, hey, I want to use this for online dating. You want to go out with me? You want to go out with me? Hey, drop me a line at the bottom of the screen. Email me. Post something. Yeah, we could like meet up. I mean, like, so what's the difference between that or you're fishing on different dating sites or whatever other? So at any rate, that's my little spiel for the day of online dating, because it can always be an interesting exchange. And one time I was actually thinking about doing it just to write a book about my experience, excuse me, online dating. But I never did it. So, um, but I still think it's an interesting topic to possibly do. So in the meantime, I'm going to leave. I'm going to replay this, and hopefully you got to hear my song. And it is copyrighted. And if you know of people where I could send it to, please let me know. Drop me a line because I want to get it out there. I did two versions of the song, and that song came from the woo woo of life, one of those woo woo experiences. So at any rate, but I like it. I really like it. And I have to remind myself at times where I start getting anxious and remembering to just breathe. Just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Wait and see. Just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. So this is another episode of Just Not Politically Correct.